Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to our podcast. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I am drinking a chili mango mocktail
Ooh.
out of a can
Oh.
from Olay. And I am telling you this, I got this at the liquor store, but in the non-alcoholic section,
Uh-huh.
this Olay brand is so good.
Is it
They
spicy?
have not really. This one isn't, I mean, it's called chili mango, but it's not that spicy. But there is a paloma, a grapefruit paloma in this brand, and it is
Uh-huh.
so good. It's my favorite.
Oh. Muddle
Yeah.
up some
So
jalapenos.
right, I know. I mean, it sort of looks like urine, this mango mocktail,
Well,
but
now that you say that, yeah.
it does, right? Yeah, I know.
Well, Lily just came in and brought me some passion tea from Starbucks,
Yum.
and I put it in my little martini glass
Oh,
because it's
oh,
just
doesn't it?
cute
Yeah.
and it's so delicious. It's like
Mm.
it's got Splenda in it, but it doesn't have any caffeine. Oh, it's just delicious. So,
Yeah. Yes. So I was on this free webinar type thing, and it was on, I mean, the gist of it was how limiting beliefs hold us back, which
mhm.
not a shocker. And I'm like, honestly, I was saying to a friend, well, I attended this course or this master class, and she said, what did you learn? Well, not much because I teach on this. So, I don't know why I attended, but there's
Because
always,
there's always different ways to explain and understand.
to explain it. And for me, if I am led somewhere, there is even one thing, like one tiny thing that I'm meant to take away from it. And so I think
Mhm.
that, well, I took a lot of notes, like of just quotes that he had said, but this one was the most thought provoking to me. Who you see yourself as is not actually you, it's who you've learned to be. This is the root of your own self-sabotage. And I mean, I paused it and I wrote that down. I took a lot of notes, but that was one thing that I just thought, who you see yourself as is not actually you. Whoa.
Yeah.
And we are just sort of like a combination of belief. It's just our beliefs, right? Who we
Yeah.
are is what we
Yeah.
believe. And I don't know that it's the root of our own self-sabotage always, because
Sometimes, but
sometimes it is, but we also, I mean, hopefully by age 52, we have beliefs about how strong we are too.
yeah.
So
Well,
there,
but I think we have unbuttoned a lot of the beliefs because
yes.
I mean, I know I had beliefs about who I was based on things that happened to me,
Oh,
sometimes
for sure.
directly because of me
Yeah.
and who I needed to be. And yeah, and that when it resonates completely. But
Mm-hmm.
then you finally grow up and you're like, what the fuck?
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
not that, I mean, I think there was someone said the first 50 years, first 40 or 50 years are about kind of growing and learning. And then the next 50 is about healing the shit that you learned.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Right? Removing the limiting
Yeah.
beliefs. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like survival the
Yeah.
first half of your life. And then the other half is like healing from what you had to do to survive, or what you had to believe to survive, or what you were told to believe.
Yeah.
And so by this age, I still have a lot of limiting beliefs. Let's face it, some of them just crop up. I didn't even know were there. They
Yeah.
were way, 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 way back there.
It's because you heal one
Yeah.
layer,
Yes.
and you peel that shit off. Oh, there's another layer.
Oh, good. Surprise.
Surprise.
Merry Christmas. Here's another
Uh-huh.
gift for you.
Yeah,
But I do feel like by this point, I also have empowering beliefs.
for
And
sure. That
so,
I did not have in my 20s. I did
right.
not have access to this
Yeah.
information in my 20s.
Yeah. I think, I'm trying to think back, but I think that my empowering beliefs probably came from my healing the limiting ones.
Mhm,
I don't know. I'd have to really go back, but I really have felt sometimes that the things that I disproved, the shitty beliefs that I had that I disproved, then became strengths for me.
mhm. When you turned
So
50,
interesting.
and we might have talked about
Mhm,
this, but I know for me, as I was turning 50, I'm looking at Maria, my granddaughter,
mhm,
and Easton was born, so it's not fair to say I was just looking at her, but I was looking at her from the perspective of me and my relationship with my grandma. And
mhm.
I thought, holy shit, if I live to be as old as my grandma, I'm going to see this baby girl turn into a woman and a mother and see her potentially in her mid 40s.
Yeah.
And then it hit, oh shit, Leigh, you got a long life left to live.
Mhm.
Potentially. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I don't know. But in
In theory, you could live
theory,
a long time though. Yeah.
and it hit me, what are you going to do with the next 45 years?
Mhm.
If you live to be the age of your grandma, you've got 45 more years. What are you going
Yeah.
to do? And how are you going to continue to learn and grow? And it almost
Yeah.
gave me this excitement. Like I looked at
Mhm.
Louise Hay, who worked into her 90s,
Yeah.
inspiring people and learning and evolving.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do.
I think that when I turned 50, I had this real sense of urgency in a way where Melanie Ann Lear had done it. And she said, the only one that matters in your life is the old woman in the mirror looking back at you. And I mean, she's 20 years younger than me or almost. And I really felt that, and I thought, okay, you can say this, but I feel
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
because I am closer to the mirror than she is
Yeah.
potentially. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't live anywhere near buses, but like potentially. And so it was this huge realization. And then I saw on the internet that someone that was a couple of years younger than me that I sat next to at hockey games had passed from cancer. And
Mm,
then it was this, oh, here's the old woman looking back in the mirror at me again. What
yeah.
have I not done yet? What have I been holding off for? What have, like, in how many ways have I allowed those limiting beliefs to hold me back or to be more prevalent than the empowering ones? Like,
Yeah.
so I think when I turned 50, it was more of that. It was like a sense of urgency. It was like, holy shit, I
Yeah.
the first 50 years, they went by in a flash.
Hmm.
So what can I do to make every day count? Life is complex.
Yeah. It is very complex. And there are people that are fearful of this age, and
Mhm.
there are people that embrace it. But you wouldn't believe the amount of people I run into, men and women, that are freaking out because they're getting ready to turn 50. And I'm like, I'm in the
Yeah.
water. It's safe. Like it's fun. It's free.
Yeah, I know. I think sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's trendy to say. I've seen on Facebook, right? Oh yeah, my gosh, I don't know if I'm ready to turn 30. Oh fuck, ready or not, here it
It's
comes. Like,
coming.
wait, are you kidding? But you know what I mean? I think sometimes people, they hear this statement and they just wear it like a badge. But you know what I wore like a badge? Oprah.
Mm,
When
mm.
I remember when Oprah turned 50, I remember when she turned 60, I think I remember when she turned 40 and how she embraced those
Yeah.
decades. Every
And
single
I
time she
wonder
embraced them.
if if she shared some of that with me through watching her, of course,
Mhm.
because I was the same way. When I remember being a child and my mother turning 30, I thought she was going to lose her mind.
Wow.
You know, she was single. She had 2 kids at the time, and she thought, "Well, shit, I'm an old maid. Got these 2 kids. No one's gonna want me." You know, and then she had Ryan, so then there was a 3rd one. So by
Mhm.
the time she was 40, she was even more distraught because now she's got 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so I remember me turning 30, and I remember well, I remember turning 27. And I was just like, I cannot wait to be 30. I wanted to be 30 so bad. Now I was in a different spot, but I wanted to be 30 so I would feel like a fucking grown up
Mm,
because I feel
mhm.
like no one takes me seriously. Everybody thinks I'm a kid. When I'm 30, I'm going to have some cred,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
40 was whatever it was. I mean, it was fun turning 40. The party, the parade down the street, the excitement of it all, but it didn't mean anything really.
Mhm.
50 was freaking amazing. 50 is so far my favorite yet. And I'm only
Yeah.
2 years in.
I know. There's so much more to go.
So much more to go. We'll talk
I think
again.
the
We'll
worst.
revisit this. 2 weeks ago, we were talking before the show, kind of about what we were gonna chat about, and I ran across it. I was, going through the
The
cuts or
notes.
whatever,
Yeah.
and I was talking about one of my hypnotherapy patients who came to me. She wanted to lose some weight. She potentially wanted to get rid of her husband, and she wanted
Oh, okay.
to create this business.
Yes.
And as we're talking about the husband, they've been together for years. And it was one of these things where she's like, I'm at this point that either I want to make it work or I'm ready to cut and run
Mhm.
because I'm kind of done. Well, first of all, you said I've had the same situation, and I bet we
Yep.
came at it from 2 different directions.
Yep.
So my thing is, I don't know what they need to do. That being said, stop for a moment. She told me some stories about him,
Okay.
and I thought, get rid of the guy. But I can't say that. I wouldn't say. I could say that, but I'm not gonna say that because
Yeah.
she knows what she wants. So, we would talk because we do coaching before we go into the hypnotherapy and talking about what she wants, and so I'm asking her, "What kind of relationship with do you want?" And she would go into what she needed to do to fix him, and I'm like, "Mm-mm,
Mm,
that's not what I'm asking you.
right.
Let's talk about the kind of lover you want, the kind of mate you want, the kind of husband you want or companion. Take him out of the equation and let's
Mhm.
focus on that." And so she would give me some really good stuff. And then we would do session and as I'm talking to her about her love life and what it feels like, not mentioning who it is, how she
Mhm.
feels in it, how independent she can remain, but she still has support and friendship and all of these things. Yeah, they're back. And he has shown up in all of those boxes that she was asking for. She wasn't asking for him. She was stating what she wanted.
Mhm.
And they began. shortly after we started meeting, having these dates, and she was just like, whatever. But they were honest with each other. And they would even be like, where are you in this relationship?
Right.
Are you at a 1? Are you at a 4? Are you at a 10? Like, where are you? And he was very honest with her. It was super cool the way I watched them just be frank with each other. Like,
Mhm.
this might work, this might not. I don't know. They went and got wedding rings because she had lost her wedding ring, I guess, twice.
Okay.
They got them tattooed on. They committed.
Oh,
They committed. And
wow.
and it's so funny to look at her because she just glows. Anyhow, how would you have done that, and what did you do differently? Or did
Okay,
we do the
so
same thing?
no, but yes. No, but yes. Okay. So in my situation, my client had come to me. I was a business coach for her about a year before. She reached out to me and she said, I need a wise woman. I don't, she didn't know I do like life coaching. And so she
Yeah.
said, I just need a wise woman. I am stressed with my husband. I think I've got to leave him. I'm tired of doing everything. He does nothing. He's lazy. We live with his parents still. We were supposed to be here for only a short period of time, but it's been 6 years now trying to save money and all of it. Right. And so she led me into this story of like, I am at the point where I can't even look at him. I am like, not, I don't want to have anything to do with him. How do I make him change? Which is interesting. And so I said, okay, so what do you want him to be like? What do you need from him? Well, I need him to take care of. So in the, what do you want?
Yeah.
I need him to take care of me. I want him to like take the garbage out if it's sitting right there. I want him to do all of these things. And so my response was, well, if you want him, and it sounds very like archaic almost, but I said, if you want him to show up in a way that would be protective of you, in a way that would be supportive of you, in a way that would be taking care of you and the kids, then maybe you should stop, like, take his balls out of your fucking purse because that's what you are doing. You are almost like chopping them right off because constantly what she was doing was taking care of everything. She was making all the decisions. She was taking care of the home. I said, you are acting like the mother in this relationship. And they were living in this
Mm.
family home, right?
Yeah.
So difficult for him. And so I said to her, I want you to start being in your feminine energy more so than masculine, more so than the to-do list, more so than here's what I want you to do, Jack.
Mhm.
I've done all of this. Now it's your turn. Well, what do you think that you should do? Like, not talking to him as a mother and not
Yeah.
talking to him as a dictator and not talking to him in a masculine way, like a to-do list way, but instead being more in her feminine, being more in receiving, being more in this partnership that what she wanted. And so she said, oh, okay. And she was trying to be more in that feminine energy, in that receiving energy. And she sort
Mhm.
of struggled at first. All of a sudden, she's like, Sandra, I don't know what kind of fucking magic you've got going on here, but he came home. He planned a date, like he booked a massage for her. It was, I've got the kids, I've got the dogs. This is your day. I've planned it
Nice.
all. And then we're going to go for supper. And she was like, oh, what just happened?
Mhm.
Well, if you are always in the to do, like the strict teacher role, or,
Yeah.
you know, there's no real room for a guy to come in and be that caregiver. She
Mhm.
was the caregiver, she was the instructor, she was the teacher, she was the mom.
Yeah.
And so we both kind of came at it from the same angle of, whoa, 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 you can't change him.
No.
The
Right.
only thing you can change is you.
Mhm.
And so I went from an energetics way of
Yeah.
being more in a receptive mode, and you were more in a manifestation mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, right?
Mhm.
But both of us were, well, what the fuck do you want it to look like?
Yeah. I mean, that's the core of it,
It is the core of
is
it.
what do you want? And
Yeah.
we do this with our jobs, with our spouses, with our kids, the story that we tell of
Yeah.
who they are, because they're being an ass in a moment. We declare them an ass.
Yeah.
And then we tell that story. And then they're showing us more and more of what an ass they are. See,
Yeah.
I told you, Sandra.
Well, and it's that same red car theory,
Yeah,
right? If we're looking for a red car, we're going to see all the fucking red cars, but we're not going to see a white one.
right.
And so if we're looking for, because our minds, we're trying to justify that we're right all the time.
Mhm. Looking for
So if
evidence
we
of it.
say my husband is an ass, or my husband is lazy, or my husband is, we're only going to look at all of those aspects, all of those circumstances that would justify, yes,
Mhm,
you're right.
mhm.
And we are not seeing anything that would tell us that we're wrong.
Right. Well, and that's how our brain works.
Yeah.
And Joe Dispenza talks about that. It's when you're thinking a thought, your brain thinks it's true. So it's
Yeah.
trying to show you evidence of it.
Yeah.
But anything that contradicts what you believe to be true, your brain just kind of swoops to the side. So you don't even see it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just see a bunch of asses everywhere.
Yeah. It's true. It is so interesting how at the core of what we did was the same.
For sure.
The specifics were different,
Mhm.
right? And
There's
the
and
outcome and the outcome was similar, because she would say to me, she came and said to me, I don't even know what is happening right now. I mean, this guy is coming through like I have never seen before. He's
wow.
helping me with my business. He's coming up with ideas. He's so excited. He wants to belong. He's like excited to be a part of the family. The other thing that I said to her was, what is he like at work? And she said, they love him at work. He is the guy, the go to guy. He's energetic, he's successful, and people go to him and they love him and they can't wait to be around him. And he's just such a go getter. Like, well, why do you think that is? Because he's allowed there
Mm,
to be important,
yeah.
to be valued, to be successful.
But
And like he gets back to the home, and this is the like the torture chamber, right? The
yeah,
mental torture chamber of everything from his childhood. Like, I wouldn't want to live in my childhood home.
yeah. And you think about living, and I don't know how old was he?
He's 40 some,
So to
42,
be
45.
living with mom and
Yeah.
your wife and your kids in your 40s has to
Yeah.
be, I would think, humiliating for 6 years.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I can,
That in itself, right?
yeah.
That
And the
in
fact that he
itself.
was living that way and thriving at work
Mhm.
is wow,
Yeah,
because that could have been flushed down the drain too.
it could have.
Hmm.
It was so I found it just such a fascinating situation, and also how quickly she noticed, like, it was within, 4 or 5 days,
Wow.
probably, that once she, like, sort of got it, like, once she really understood that there was like that she was showing up, doing all the tasks, and then mad that he wasn't doing anything, kind of, right? I mean, it
Mm,
was bigger than that. It was broader than that. But
sure.
so once she figured out, oh, wait a minute, if I can just let go of my to-do list and my expectation list of him, because she had all this list of expectations, and she would talk to him and say, I expect you to do this, I expect you to do that. And so then she stopped doing that. So she had a mental expectation list of him, and then she was pissed when he didn't fill it.
Hmm.
So the idea of, okay, wait a minute, I can allow myself to be taken care of. I can allow someone to like care for me
Yeah.
and be in a partnership with someone, instead of me feeling like the only person that's going to do everything, get everything done is me, 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 me.
It's a tough
And
place to live.
it is a tough place to live, but within a very short period of time. Like I think it was 3 or 4 days once she
Wow.
really got it. He
Did
came
they
back and
get
said,
out of the mother's house?
no, not yet. However, they are looking they have been actively looking for places, and so hopefully soon. Oh my gosh. Like, even she just said, when they go on holidays, then it's just them, and things
Hmm.
are so much easier. Like, of course they are. Of course they are, because you're not in someone else's energy, and you're not living in the past. Like, you are literally living in the past.
Literally. Because when you're in your childhood home, you're in that energetic pattern and
Yeah.
you think there's a role that you're supposed to take
Hmm.
and that there's someone that you're supposed to be because everyone expects you to be that person,
Yeah.
even if it's an asshole.
Yeah.
If you were the asshole kid or you were the whatever kid, my younger brother, he always thinks that when I say something, I mean something different than what I'm saying.
Mm,
And it stems from childhood. And so I don't know if I used to do that or if he thought I did that, it doesn't matter. But that's
yeah.
just the role that he has assigned me. And it's interesting as grown people will get together and I'll just come in the room and in the middle of a conversation and make a comment and he automatically goes, "There you go again."
Oh
And
God.
and I'm like, "What did I say?"
Yeah.
And then I've just stopped worrying about it because I'm like, "Oh, he's in a loop that I'm not there, so he can think whatever the hell he wants to
Yeah.
think."
Yeah, exactly.
But we
We
do
do
it.
have those roles to play,
Yeah,
and it's really tough to get out of them, because not only are we used to, like, our body, our energetically, we're used to playing them, but everyone
yeah.
else is expecting us to play them too. Everyone else is used
Yes.
to us playing that too. So if we
Yeah,
go home, if
yeah.
we're somewhere for Christmas, let's say, or at a family function, we not only feel like we should be in that identity or that role, but everyone else expects it
Yeah.
out of us.
And when we show up differently,
We do.
they are like, "Well, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
What'd
You
you
know
do?"
what I find? You know what I find is so intriguing? That neither of us talked about feng shui,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it so relates. If you think about how the wisdom self-knowledge area relates to intimate relationships and marriage,
Mhm.
and how you have to have that strong sense of self, that strong idea of like, and that inner wisdom, but that inner sense about you in order to have a strong marriage,
Yeah,
in order to, so it really is like working on yourself in order to enhance the marriage.
for sure. Yeah.
But I shouldn't say that. I did not use that at first, but in a few coaching sessions later, we talked
Mhm.
about that. And so she had done a lot of work, because in her room, it was very much not designed. Her marriage, intimate relationships area was very much single.
Okay.
things in singles,
Mhm.
not in pairs.
Yeah.
And so she did do a lot of work. And like I think she said that same day, like her kids both walked in the room and just went, "Oh, it feels so good in here," which is always the way with feng shui, right? When things are
Always.
just like
And it's weird that people
designed
that wouldn't
properly.
normally recognize something changed going,
Yeah.
"Oh, it feels so good
It
in here."
feels so good in
Yeah.
here. And so she designed her bedroom, and yeah, it was just a total shift for her and a shift
Mhm.
for their marriage. They went on a holiday together, like,
Yeah.
but it's interesting because the core concepts of how we approached it is still really like, what do you want it to look like?
Yeah.
And what can you change within yourself?
Mhm.
Because neither of us said, yeah, okay, you need to tell him to do this. He needs to do that. He needs to, you know,
Yeah. 'Cause
it's
it doesn't work.
fascinating. It doesn't, no, it doesn't work.
Mm-mm. No. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's that we're talking about an asshole and bitching about an asshole. So we're seeing a lot more of the asshole.
Yeah.
Where if we were talking about those things that we wanted,
Hmm.
those qualities that are good, and
Hmm.
start with he's got nice feet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Start where
Yeah.
you have to start.
Right.
Uh, but 2, not even tying it to he doesn't have to be the one.
Exactly.
You can
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
But it'd be
That's
a shame if you left after all these years and you just needed to tweak.
And
But
now they got the tattoos, so,
now they're done.
now there's, like, no
Can't
turning
undo
back
that.
now.
But I believe we are out of time.
We are.
So this was great, Sandra. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.